What you want?
See, you're in my house, fatso, and you didn't ask permission.
Do you know who you're talking to?
Now get out of my cell. If you boys knew what's about to happen to you, you'd leave now.
The series kicks off with Jack Reacher, a retired military police officer with unbeatable record. He enters a small town called Margrave, unaware of what is waiting for him.
I'm sorry, I'm not good at math.
Take a 40% tip. The hell you want, asshole? I'm talking to you, stupid. Listen, man, I'm just having a bad day. It won't happen again. Police! Don't move! Don't move! Don't move! Don't move! Slow! Hands!
Turn around. You're under arrest for murder.
They take him to the police station, where Officer Rosco tells Reacher to cooperate. The cops find only a passport, toothbrush, cash, and a war medal on him. But still, Baker tells him he is under arrest for murder. Just then, Chief Detective Finley arrives. Reacher is moved to a conference room for questioning. Finley soon enters and questions Reacher about a recent murder, but Reacher remains silent.
Victim was male, 30s, big guy. You know who this man was? I'm not about to waste the rest of my afternoon.
I don't need a lawyer, because I didn't kill anybody. At least not recently.
This Reacher fella, no online profile at all. The only proof Jack Reacher exists is the fact that he's sitting in that room.
What if I'm thinking I'm sitting across from a man who doesn't mind killing and who has the knowledge?
You'd be right. Shooter was someone who knows firearms well. Bullets were small caliber, 9mm, 95. This was someone who knew how to conduct a quiet, effective kill. Your psycho isn't suddenly going to be rational enough to know he has to hide the body, and your meticulous shooter isn't going to do a sloppy job with roadside cardboard. You said the victim was big, so most likely his feet were sticking out, and that's how he got spotted. I got off the bus from Tampa and walked to town.
You get on a bus in Tampa with $212, a toothbrush, and a French war medal.
I also went to a diner, ordered peach pie, and never got to eat it because I was arrested for murder.
If I can confirm you were on a Greyhound bus at that time, you're cleared. Law says we need a warrant.
Reacher, why does trouble always seem to find you?
A flashback reveals Reacher and his brother Joe relocating to a new home on a military base in Okinawa. Josephine, their mom, tells them to go out and make friends with the other kids.
Let's just go home. It's my fight. It's never just your fight. You know, Mom was right. Trouble does kind of seem to find you.
Back in the present, Reacher is sitting in a jail cell. Rosco pours herself a cup of coffee and offers one to him. She tells him that the police didn't find anything suspicious in his fingerprints, which means he has a clean record in their system. Suddenly, Finley rushes in with new information. They found a lead connected to the phone number discovered on the victim. Rosco leaves with Finley, and together they go to meet Charlie Hubble. When they arrive, they find her husband, Paul Hubble, who appears nervous but still invites them into their modern and expensive home. Inside, Finley questions Paul about a murder, explaining that someone was shot and his phone number was found on the victim's body.
I did it. I understand I don't have to talk or anything and then I got a lawyer and all that, but I did it, okay?
What was his name?
I don't know.
You killed a man you don't know.
Yeah, that's right. I told you I did it, okay? I'm not about to rehash all the details.
A double-barrel shotgun blast right to the face.
Yes, I did.
Your life's about to get very complicated, Mr. Hubble. Reacher, come with me.
Not until you let these zip ties come off.
Get the box cutter.
You guys recycle.
Finley questions Stevenson, asking if he knows anything about Hubble. Stevenson explains that Hubble was at a family party all night, far from the scene of the murder. He doesn't understand why Hubble confessed or how his number ended up in a shoe at the crime scene. Reacher and Hubble are then prepared to be taken to jail. On the bus, they are the only prisoners, sitting across from each other in silence. After a long drive through dark, empty country roads, they finally arrive at Warburton County Jail.
Really sorry I got you into this. It wasn't my intention.
Remember when I said shut up on the bus? Same rule goes for jail.
Instead of being placed in a holding cell for inmates awaiting trial, they were thrown in with some of the most dangerous prisoners. Moments later, 4 inmates approached their cell. The leader, a man named JD, locked eyes with Hubble and began taunting him in a threatening manner.
There she is. Look, she got pretty little shoes on.
I said give them to me. Good girl.
Now, there's just one more thing I want from you.
What you want?
See, you're in my house, fatso, and you didn't ask permission. Now I'll count to 3.
Do you know who you're talking to?
Now get out of my cell.
Reacher and Hubble walk through the yard. Reacher stays calm, while Hubble keeps close to him, clearly frightened. Hubble admits he's not a real criminal, and reveals that the people he works for threatened his entire family if he ever betrayed them. Reacher listens, but remains distant. Soon, a group of gang members starts watching them. Reacher heads toward the bathroom, and Hubble follows. Inside the shower area, Reacher notices the gang closing in.
If you boys knew what's about to happen to you, you'd leave now.
Come on, let's go before the warden sees. Let's go, let's go!
Anyone asks, you've been here the whole time.
Next day, Reacher and Hubble are released. Outside, Hubble goes to meet his wife, while Reacher walks over to Rosco. She offers him a ride. In the car, Rosco shows him surveillance footage, proving he was in Tampa at the time of the murder. She invites him to dinner, and without hesitation, Reacher says, "Yes, but I'm going to need some new clothes first."
Don't you miss your family?
They're all dead. Except for my brother, Joe.
So you just go wherever you want, whenever you want?
Everyone's always jealous. So I'll check out the town for a while and see you in a bit.
And don't go getting yourself arrested for murder again.
Reacher enters a local barbershop where the elderly barber Mosley is making a sandwich. Reacher asks for a shave. As Mosley begins shaving him, Reacher comments on how perfect the town looks. Mosley gives the credit to the Kleiner Foundation. While sitting there, getting shaved, Reacher notices the same black truck parked outside. Kleiner Jr., known as KJ, is standing beside it, staring inside, and his cousin Dawson comes to join him. Reacher then wipes the shaving cream from his face and walks straight up to KJ and Dawson.
Do you want to dance a Tom Burrito with me?
Hell, I'll dance.
I'm talking to you, Pee-wee. You want me to lead or?
Reading something interesting just this morning about some charges brought against a Major Jack Reacher. We don't forgive as easily in Margrave. What's your back, Mr. Reacher?
He arrives at the police station parking lot where Rosco and other officers are already gathered. Rosco tells Reacher that another body has been discovered nearby. The medical examiner, Jasper, explains the details of the second victim, a John Doe who was shot in the back of the head while trying to run away. The first victim is still unidentified, with mismatched dental records and swollen fingertips caused by an allergic reaction. Reacher carefully studies the photos, noticing small details like an oblong scar on the palm. In that moment, he realizes the victim is his brother, Joe.
We were wrestling. I pinned him against the stove. I didn't know my mother had just turned it off. That's how my brother got this scar.
What was your brother doing in Margrave?
I don't know.
You being smart with me?
I'm being straight with you.
Hell, no wonder Sharon left you.
You keep my wife's name out of your mouth. You're messing with the wrong man, I'll tell you that right now.
Do what I say, Reacher. Please.
In the car, the atmosphere is tense as Reacher stares out the window, taking in the shock. He tells Rosco and Finley that he believes his brother mentioned Blind Blake for a reason, and that he feels he has to do something about it. His tone shifts, turning cold and deadly.
I guess I'll find everybody responsible and kill every last one of them.
Reacher storms off in anger, ignoring everyone calling out to him. Rosco is told to go after him. Suddenly, he steps into the street and is nearly struck by her car. He firmly says that he is going to Hubble's house and is ready to use force if that's what it takes to get the truth. After some effort, Rosco manages to convince him to get into the car. They reach Hubble's house, where his wife welcomes them inside. Reacher tells her that his brother has been murdered and that Hubble's phone number was found on the body. At that moment, their two young daughters walk into the room and greet Reacher and Rosco. Their mother gently sends them back to bed, while Reacher quietly takes in everything around him. He then asks to use the restroom, and she directs him through the kitchen and down the hallway. Soon after, Reacher and Finley wrap up their visit and thank Hubble's wife for her time. Once outside, Reacher's mood changes again. He tells Rosco that something doesn't add up. First, the glasses. Hubble's wife mentioned that Tally wore them, and that sparks a memory. Back in prison, someone had pointed Reacher out before the attack because he was wearing glasses. Now it clicks for him. The attackers were never after him. They thought he was Hubble.
It's an agrimony burr. They're growing tall grass all around here. We call them hitchhikers because they stick on you and they go for a ride.
Still some reason they were on his laces. I told Finley the shooter was someone who knew firearms well, but it was more than that. Gun had a silencer on it, which makes even close range work inaccurate, but he got a kill shot. Shooter came through here, waiting for Joe. This area would have been darker. This is where he hid. Shooter wanted to be close.
Maybe it was personal.
Someone takes your life, it's always personal.
What do you do for a living?
Last time we spoke, he was working in Homeland Security.
That's interesting. What department was your brother in?
Don't know.
Reacher decides to leave and look for a motel. Rosco offers him a ride, but he turns it down. As he walks, 3 drunk locals corner him in a parking lot, clearly looking for trouble.
We just want to talk to you.
There's 2 Sixers worth of empties around your car. You've been waiting a while. Well, this is the wrong day to ask me to humor your bullshit.
Hey! You're about to get your ass kicked.
What the hell just rolled into Margrave?
After quickly taking them apart in a short but brutal fight, he walks away without a scratch. Soon after, news breaks of another murder. This time, it's Police Chief Morrison. When Reacher and Rosco arrive, they find a scene worse than anything before. Morrison has been nailed to a wall with 6 spikes driven through his arms, 2 of them piercing near his wrist bones, and there is a cut across his cheek. Reacher reflects that he came down south looking for peace and quiet, but instead he has walked into a string of deaths. 4 bodies so far, or maybe 5 if Hubble is counted. At the emergency town meeting, Teal declares that he has appointed himself as the new chief of police, but the crowd responds with anger and clear doubt.
Y'all had him in jail. Why'd you let him go?
But Mr. Reacher has a rock-solid alibi. I have faith in Chief Detective Finley. I have faith in our new chief of police.
Teal's trying to frame the Morrison hit as a revenge killing. Just set me off to chase my tail. You're one of those conspiracy nuts.
Guys with the kind of money and power Kleiner wields are rarely angels. Give us cover while we work the real angles. Like Joe's rental car.
I'll call you when it's set up.
I don't have a phone.
Get one.
I'd like to offer my apologies for your arrest. My condolences for your brother. We'd be happy to keep you updated on the investigation. Just leave your contact information with the department before you head out.
I'm not leaving.
Back at the house, Charlie is frightened, but she puts her trust in Reacher. With her husband gone, her only focus is protecting her daughters. When Reacher arrives, he tells them to start packing immediately. Picard is on his way to take them into protective custody. Reacher hands her a burner phone and assures her that this is what her husband would have wanted. She breaks down as the reality sinks in that Hubble is probably dead. There is no time to grieve. They have to run.
We're on the move. It's not safe anymore. Let's go.
I'm not ready.
Let's go now.
Hey, I'm Picard.
Told you I need my own gun.
Finley said he can't get the FBI officially involved yet, so I'm going to take a few personal days, watch the family myself.
What about you?
I'm going to go see that guard Spivey at Warburton.
He won't tell you anything.
Depends on how I ask.
Reacher heads to Warburton to track down Spivey, the prison guard who set Hubble up. Whoever paid Spivey is likely behind everything, and he could be the key to breaking the case. When the men spot Reacher, they pull their guns and try to force him into a car, but he quickly realizes they want him alive and are not going to shoot.
Maybe you don't want to draw attention firing outside a crowded bar.
A nearby cop shows up, but the attackers vanish before they can be caught. Reacher returns, injured but composed. Rosco patches him up as they talk through what went wrong. Reacher admits the plan did not go as intended. Finley is irritated that he acted alone, but Reacher explains that Spivey would never have taken the bait if Finley had been involved. New information comes to light. Joe Reacher had been working for the Secret Service, a division under Homeland Security. Finley cannot access the full details, but the agency deals with crimes ranging from fraud to child exploitation. Since Hubble specialized in currency, they begin to suspect that counterfeiting could be the link. Reacher pieces things together and concludes that Spivey is still their strongest lead, but after the ambush, he has likely fled. Reacher goes to Spivey's house, hoping to find something useful, but it is late, and the records office is closed. He decides to return in the morning. Rosco urges him to rest instead, and they head to a bar. Rosco changes clothes so she does not look like a cop, and gets Reacher a clean shirt. At the bar, they sit, talk, and listen to blues music. One of the songs reminds Reacher of his brother Joe. Despite saying he does not dance, he ends up dancing with Rosco. As the night goes on, they open up about their past. Rosco talks about losing her parents and being raised by a family friend named Gray, who taught her how to be a good cop. Reacher shares that Joe was the only family he had left. The next day, they discover that someone tried to break into Roscoe's house during the night. The footprints left behind show the intruder was professional.
They're gonna kill me?
Could have been here for me. My car was parked out front.
Looks like they plan on coming back.
I'm really gonna need a gun. I know you're scared, but I'm
Scared?
It's natural.
You think that's a poor, scared little girl? I'm not scared. I am pissed. You want a gun?
People around here know I have this thing. Use it wrong and it gets back to me.
Your house isn't safe anymore. Pack your bags. Never trust a weapon you haven't personally test fired.
Finley calls and informs them that the man found dead alongside Reacher's brother, Joe, has been identified. Without wasting any time, they all rush to the morgue. There, the medical examiner reveals the identity of the mysterious man. His name is Pete Jobling. Pete was a truck driver working for a company called South Freight Shipping. According to the medical examiner, his body contained a high level of toxic gas, likely caused by years of inhaling car exhaust. He was 43 years old, married, and lived in Atlanta. He had no criminal record, except for a minor traffic violation in 2018. However, something unusual comes to light. The law firm that handled his case was extremely high-end, far beyond what a regular truck driver would typically afford. This detail raises suspicion. Meanwhile, Rosco receives a call from the Secret Service. A woman named Molly Beth Gordon says she used to work with Joe. At first, she sounds excited, believing she is speaking to Joe, but Reacher has to tell her the truth.
What position did Joe hold in the Secret Service?
Director of the Office of Investigations. He assigned his current case to himself. Nobody knew about it.
Was there a specific division of OI that Joe was heading up?
He ran our anti-counterfeiting department. Joe told me that he put a stop to all domestic counterfeiting a while ago. I can try to get his files for you.
Thank you.
The hard copies only.
Shouldn't I tell his superiors?
Absolutely not. So we tell no one until we have a better understanding of what we're dealing with.
You sound just like him.
Talk soon.
After the call, Finley admits that Jack was right. This is connected to counterfeit money. Hubble worked at a bank and dealt with cash every day, which can't be just a coincidence. Reacher and his team are still trying to uncover who is behind all the trouble in Margrave. Since Teal doesn't know they suspect him, they decide to play along and act like they're focused on something else. Rosco pretends she's only investigating the break-in at her house, while Finley secretly plans to visit a jail guard named Spivey in hopes of finding more answers. Back at the police station, Rosco speaks with Teal. Acting like he's now in charge, Teal instructs her to look into former convicts that Morrison had once put behind bars, believing that one of them might be seeking revenge.
You keep me posted.
You were with Finley this morning?
I was?
My cousin Charlie's not picking up her phone. Just wondering if you know something I don't. This Reacher guy's running all over everybody like it's...
Stevenson, a moment.
Mr. Spivey?
All the police! Wait!
I'm sorry, what was your first name again?
Brian.
What was the date that delivery truck hit you?
I made up a story so you'd see me. Now get me your file on Pete Jobling.
Get out of my office.
Pull up Jobling's file now. Staple. Thank you. Caused any problems you wish I finished strangling you.
Listen, man. You should have told us you were a cop.
Rosco meets Reacher at a restaurant called Jolin's and shares what she has uncovered. The dead truck driver worked for a company named South Freight Shipping, which was connected to another firm, Kleiner Industries. When the driver ran into legal trouble, Kleiner covered his expenses, raising serious doubts about their involvement. Reacher reveals that he looked into Spivey and found that he had already left town. However, Spivey had made multiple calls to Kleiner Industries, pointing the investigation in that direction. Reacher tells Rosco he intends to break into Kleiner's building to search for answers, even if it means bending the rules. Rosco cautions him, warning that such actions could jeopardize the entire case. When they reach Kleiner's office, they notice something unusual. There are no security cameras, suggesting the company may be hiding something. Soon after, Mr. Kleiner meets them and claims he knows very little about the murders, saying he has only heard unreliable rumors from a local diner. The group is also trying to figure out what Kleiner is really doing with his large farm. They discover that he has been ordering an unusually high amount of animal feed, far more than a typical farm would require. This raises suspicion, making them believe he could be hiding something or running a secret operation. Reacher's team warns him that even though Kleiner appears suspicious, they cannot act recklessly. If they move too quickly, they could ruin the entire investigation. They need to stay patient and think strategically. Reacher decides that finding Spivey is the key. If Spivey talks, he could expose whoever is behind everything. Reacher plans to meet him at the Blue Cat, a place where Spivey feels safe. He chooses to go alone so that no one suspects he is connected to the police, ensuring the culprits don't get alerted and disappear.
You know Tanner Spivey?
You don't need anyone asking about his business. There's some Spanish guys, man. Real fast.
He drives off in his sleek Mustang and soon notices a car trailing him. Realizing he's being followed, Reacher accelerates, staying calm as he leads them along, while they remain unaware that he's guiding them straight into a trap.
Adelante, a la derecha.
Hello, Spivey.
Finley discovers that Hubble hasn't worked at the bank for over a year and has been lying to his wife the entire time. This revelation adds another layer of suspicion to the case. Soon after, they receive news about a burned-out car found near a quiet rural road. They suspect it might be Joe's missing vehicle. The car had been set on fire, using a strong chemical to erase any evidence, but rain partially washed away the damage, giving them a chance to investigate further. To confirm its identity, they attempt to reveal the car's ID number by cleaning off the rust using an unusual method involving ketchup and salt.
Is Joe's car what?
Think so. We can send photos to forensics.
Old army trick. Salt for abrasion. Make a great metal cleaner.
And you put that in your body.
Tastes good. South Americans got to Spivey before I did. Found them stashed in their trunk.
7 bodies since you set foot in my town.
They charged me, and they were armed.
Fine.
They choose to hide the bodies instead of reporting them, as they don't trust anyone else to handle the investigation properly. While examining the scene, Rosco notices that the bullet wounds are in the victims' backs. This makes her realize that Reacher shot them while they were turned away, not while they were attacking him, as he had told Finley. When she questions him, Reacher calmly replies that he had the opportunity to stop them, and he took it. Still unconvinced, Rosco presses him about what really happened in Baghdad. Reacher begins to explain, saying that he was searching for a missing soldier when he came across a group of young boys playing soccer.
Whenever they'd see me, they'd wave. I waved back. 3 men from the village were abusing the boys. They could turn themselves into Iraqi police or they'd answer to me. I was ready. You have a problem with me killing people who hurt children? Because I want to know the kind of person I'm working with.
I guess I don't.
Afterward, Rosco recalls something that doesn't add up. When she had asked Mosley about Kleiner's business, he mentioned trucking, real estate, and chemicals, but never said anything about farming or agriculture, even though they had seen a massive shipment of animal feed. They head to a hotel and request a room. Rosco checks in under the name Officer Odora Welty, while Reacher pays using the cash he took from the men they killed. Their plan is to visit Pete Jobling's wife early the next morning, hoping to understand why the people who killed Jobling were also after Reacher's brother. Before settling in, Reacher warns Rosco to stay cautious and avoid predictable positions, pointing out that a sniper could easily target them from higher floors.
I know half a dozen sharpshooters that could take us out on the 15th floor. Molly Beth.
Sorry for calling so late. I hope I didn't wake you. My flight lands at ATL at 5 p.m.
Can't meet you there. Too many cameras at the airport. You two must have been close if you let him bore you with stories about me.
Top to bottom, everyone respected him. A real lead by example kind of guy, you know. But he said you were a good man.
You didn't take to people easily, so you must be special.
I should get back to work. I will see you tomorrow.
We didn't order room service and we don't need housekeeping. If anybody tries to come through that door, shoot them.
The next morning, they go to Pete Jobling's house, posing as police officers who want to ask about him. Rosco tries to tell Pete's mother about his death, but Reacher stops her. Instead, they say they're investigating recent truck hijackings linked to the family business. She directs them to Pete's wife for further questions. When they meet Mrs. Jobling and inform her that Pete is dead, she shows little concern about the reason. She admits she had warned him many times that his actions would eventually catch up with him. She suspected he was stealing not only from his company, but also from Kleiner. Despite everything, she had tolerated it for the sake of their relationship. However, on the night Pete was killed, she had no idea who he was meeting. Meanwhile, Finley shares the VIN check results. The car was rented and later found at a motel under the name Ron Hassey, a name Reacher recognizes as one of Joe's aliases. This confirms that Joe had likely been at that motel before his death. Reacher and Rosco rush there, hoping Joe might have left something behind. The motel clerk tells them that Joe had left a briefcase and a garment bag, but someone claiming to be Ron Hassey picked them up just 20 minutes earlier. The man was of medium height and possibly Hispanic. Realizing they've just missed him, Reacher concludes they're too late. Still, knowing Joe, he believes there must be something hidden. They search the room carefully and eventually find the garment bag.
No way.
You made them follow you because you had Joe's note.
So you'd stay alive. I was thinking when Joe died, there was almost no one left in the world I cared about. And then I met you.
panic. Finley arrives and asks what they have discovered. Reacher explains that they were attacked, raising the possibility that someone inside the police station may be leaking information to the criminals. They suspect it could be Stevenson. Finley is initially shocked, but admits that Stevenson has been acting suspiciously lately. They proceed to check the contact numbers they found. One belongs to William Bryant, an economics professor at Princeton, and another to Stephanie Castillo at Columbia. However, they find it strange that academic figures like these would be connected to government agents and a criminal operation. Rosco grows concerned about traveling to Tennessee, especially since Molly Beth is due to arrive soon. Reacher then contacts Nigley, a trusted private investigator who has assisted him in the past. Nigley agrees to help, and they plan to meet Molly Beth at the airport. But when they arrive, she is nowhere to be found. Reacher immediately senses that something is wrong.
Well, she must have missed us and walked right by.
No one misses me when they walk by. We need to split up. You take the stairs, you take the elevator.
Oh, God. Joe.
Reacher and the others drive away, still shaken by Molly's death. The radio reports a crash, attributing it to mechanical failure, and mentions that Coast Guard patrols have been reduced due to budget cuts. However, Reacher and his team are convinced there is something far more disturbing behind it all. They feel uneasy about leaving Molly's body behind, but also know that staying longer would have put them in danger. Suddenly, Reacher orders the car to stop. On a nearby property, he notices a dog tied up with a heavy chain that is digging into its neck.
Seriously?
After rescuing the dog, he heads over to Hubble's house to grab a new car, since their old one is basically Swiss cheese from all the bullet holes. He pulls the cover off the vehicle and drive away. A little later, they all agree to meet at the police station. Rosco is furious and shocked after finding out Teal fired her. Finley says he'll talk to Teal and try to fix it, but Rosco refuses to hand over her gun. Losing the badge doesn't stop her. She's still in the investigation. They decide to follow Joe's plan, but leads like the professor's, the Memphis angle, and Jobling's garage go nowhere. Their last option is Gray's files. Reacher recalls Gray once gave Rosco a Desert Eagle, but when they check the box, it's empty. He searches everywhere, nothing. Then he remembers something odd. Gray used to get weekly haircuts, despite barely having hair. At the barbershop, Reacher receives a message Gray left for him. Gray says he's proud of Rosco, and reveals he checked the Kleiner Fund's tax returns. The charity's money doesn't add up. It brings in a lot, but only gives small amounts to a few local groups. Meanwhile, Nagley finds something big, but won't say it over the phone. She asks Reacher to meet early, not trusting calls. They connect it to the case of Jimmy Dupree Wilkes, an EPA investigator killed at home, and it's clear everything is linked and dangerous.
How's it going, big fella? 10 years together as special investigators. I know what you think.
And you knew I'd come to a bistro because my mother was French.
It's got the biggest sign. Let's go. I'll fill you in.
I haven't eaten yet.
The JW on your brother's punch list was an EPA investigator named Jimmy Dupree Wilkes.
Was.
Workless don't use silencers. Most don't carry guns at all. Also, workless steal things.
It's what they did to my brother.
You're gonna kill a whole lot of people, aren't you?
Already started.
He and his partner are gonna take us to meet a CI, low-level hitman who might know who was hired to kill Wilkes. But the pollution seemed to hit hardest at Chester, Arkansas.
So that's where we go.
These people are connected and stone-cold killers. You know, given your size.
Why are you so big?
Genetics.
Rosco shows up with news that might point to another murder. They revisit Officer Gray's death, originally ruled as a drunken fall. But now something feels off. The cut on his head doesn't look like a normal injury. It's shaped like it came from a diamond-shaped object. When the medical examiner takes a closer look, they find tiny marks that match that exact shape. Suddenly, it's clear this case just got a whole lot more complicated.
You pick up microlacerations, which can often show the shape of the object causing the injury. Kind of look like a diamond.
Damn right it does.
Miss Conklin, you come to clean out your desk?
But now they know you know something.
I know that old bastard killed Gray.
I gotta get you out of town. You can't show your face in Margrave now.
This is Officer O'Coin.
They realize their files are incomplete, so they decide to break into Kleiner's office after hours to find proof of the conspiracy. It's risky, no cameras, but still illegal, yet they feel it's their only option. At the same time, a lead surfaces on who killed the EPA agent investigating Kleiner. With a warning not to go after Teal alone, Reacher and Nagley then get a ride back from the officers who connected them to the informant.
Already got a call from Stevenson saying Till wants a warrant out for Roscoe's arrest.
Can't trust Stevenson.
I lost it.
No apologies, remember? Got a lead on a shooter who took out an EPA agent digging into Kleiner. When the time comes, I'll hold him while you hit him.
Bye, Reacher.
Bye, Rosco.
When we get to the precinct, we'll go through the alias database. We'll look up Viking, see what pops up. Threaten to torture my family.
Draw your weapon!
They showed me a video of them cutting balls off. Wait, don't... I'm gonna open the door up. I'm gonna shoot you real quick, man.
Who threatened you?
I don't know!
I need a knife!
Take a deep breath.
Do not mess with the special investigators.
Kleiner forced that cop to kill us. Odds are he hired the Viking, too.
I'm gonna head back to Margrave. Do me a favor and walk away.
From the guys who killed your brother and tried to kill us. See what I can find out about the Viking.
Finley prepares to break into Kleiner's office, hoping to uncover crucial evidence hiding in the shadows.
Guess you're not pulling all the strings, huh, Kleiner?
Reacher studies the photos of Kleiner's injuries that Finley found. The way he was killed stands out. It's a brutal method known as the Venezuelan butterfly cut, pointing to killers likely connected to Venezuela. As they process this, Finley gets called to the station. When he arrives, the chief drops another bomb the planner has been murdered, found dead in his office. Finley checks if forensics are already there, and they are. No time to waste, he heads straight to the crime scene. Peard takes Rosco to Paul's wife's house, telling her she'll stay there and help take care of things. He assures her it's safe, but warns that if anything feels off, she should grab everyone and escape through the basement. Later that night, after dinner, Rosco is talking with Paul's wife when she suddenly spots a car out in the forest. Instantly on edge, Rosco tells her to take the kids to the basement, and the moment she hears her voice, runs straight towards the woods.
Okay, I'm gonna lure them away. Yes, do it.
The scene shifts to Reacher and Finley, still tailing the truck. After a while, it stops outside a hotel at night, and Kleiner's nephew heads inside. They wait, then move in closer. Reacher climbs on top and rips open the roof to check inside. Just then, the nephew comes back out and scans the area, but eventually returns to the hotel. Once it's clear, Reacher finishes tearing it open, only to find the truck completely empty. No cargo at all. Now it makes even less sense. Why is an empty truck moving around like this? Finley has no answer. They decide to call the professors again, expecting them to be back by now. But when Reacher calls, the assistant drops a bomb the professor was murdered the moment he returned from Europe.
I'm his assistant.
My condolences.
Thank you. I have to go.
Professor Castillo?
Yes?
Now do everything I'm about to tell you if you still want to be alive by the time I get there.
Rosco takes Paul's family to a restaurant. During their talk, she mentions that Paul quit his bank job a year ago. His wife says she knew everything, he never kept secrets. Rosco reminds her that she once claimed otherwise, but she explains she lied back then to protect her kids. She then reveals how everything went wrong. One day, Paul got a call from Kleiner, asking to meet. Kleiner offered him a job, promising huge money for handling large financial transactions for his clients. Before anything, Kleiner wanted Paul to visit one of the client sites, with him telling him he could walk away if he didn't like what he saw.
Are these all racehorses?
Mostly retired. No, these are animals that are used to running as hard, as fast as they can, and they revolt. And then, one day, they just stop. Because they accept that they're trapped. They know there's nothing they can do to escape their fate. That money that you moved today, you helped me launder millions in illegal tender, and then you sent me the evidence. I know what you're thinking. You want to run. Just like all the horses in here want to run. Let me tell you something. No place is safe.
I can't do this.
I'm gonna leave you in here for a while so that you don't run off and do anything stupid. Paul, don't gnaw at the gate.
Help me! No, por favor, no! Please help me!
This is what happens to you and your family if you don't do what you are told.
Paul did what he was told, and they killed him anyway.
When Reacher steps out of the police station, he notices a man watching him. Soon after, he meets a professor who reveals she had been working with his brother, Joe. She explains that whenever Joe needed help understanding the economy, he came to her. She then shares a key detail Joe had arranged for the special paper used to print fake money to be supplied through a single company. But days later, he discovered counterfeit notes were also showing up in Georgia. That's when it clicks for Reacher. They had it wrong the whole time. The money isn't being printed in Georgia, and spread across the country, it's being printed somewhere else and brought into Georgia.
You find out where they're getting the paper to do it, and you will stop whatever Joe is trying to stop. How are you going to take down whoever's doing this?
Painfully. Major Jack Reacher, 110th Special Investigations, retired. My brother, Joe Reacher, worked in Secret Service. You can look him up. I need you to make sure she's protected until you get a phone call from me, and only me.
So yes, sir.
Just then, Finley gets a phone call. After hearing it, he tells Reacher it answers one of their key questions. When Reacher asks which one, Finley says it's about Officer Stevenson. Stevenson was involved in the fake money operation, and now he's been killed like the others. The pattern is becoming impossible to ignore. Teal delivers a harsh blow to both of them. He fires Finley, blaming him for the chaos and the deaths of multiple officers, saying he can't handle the situation. Then he turns on Reacher too, threatening to arrest him if he doesn't leave the crime scene immediately. Reacher tells Baker he plans to break into Hubbell's house that night to look for evidence tying Finley directly to the crime. Baker agrees with the plan. Meanwhile, Finley informs Stevenson's parents about his death. While Reacher prepares for action, he visits an army surplus store and buys camouflage gear, paint, boots, and weapons. He's ready for a hunt, and the bad weather gives him the advantage. That night, as a truck arrives, Dawson and other men step out wearing white latex suits. He suddenly realizes the full truth and calls Rosco, telling her he now understands exactly how they're laundering the money. Since they can't get special paper for fake bills, they found another method. They take real $1 bills, wash the ink off to turn them back into blank paper, then print new $100 bills on top. The bills look worn and aged, so they don't raise suspicion. They even use something from animal feed in large quantities to help strip the ink without damaging the paper. Rosco is impressed by how clever the scheme is. Reacher and Finley meet at Judy's house, but it has been burned down. She had left the week before to visit family. They then head back to the truck driver's parents' house to check the garage. There, Finley finds an old air conditioning box like the ones he used to transport, and inside it, they discover it full of cash, finally giving them solid evidence for the FBI. Next, they plan to meet Rosco at Pequard's, where she is still watching the Hubbell family. Finley goes ahead while Reacher gathers the evidence. On the way, Reacher contacts Nigley, who believes she's found the Viking. She also reveals that an FBI agent named Nitmo had previously closed the case of the murdered EPA agent in Arkansas, calling it a burglary and claiming the victim was living beyond his means. Once he enters the house, Reacher finds Finley already there, with Peard, KJ, and Mayor Teal, all holding guns on him. Peard finally drops the act, revealing his true intentions as he points a gun straight at Finley's back.
Where's Rosco?
Oh, my girl's doing just fine.
No way you're letting them walk away from this. They know too much.
You're smart.
Pretty sure they'll keep quiet after they watch what I do to their dad.
You killed him already?
He's on the run.
Pretty soon, those Venezuelans are gonna give you the same necktie they gave your daddy.
I killed my father. I killed Joplin. And I killed your brother.
You shot Joe. Dawson kicked him after he was dead.
We'll make it look like the two crooked Reacher brothers were working with an out-of-town cop running drugs or guns to something nefarious.
You're gonna take Picard to wherever Hubbell's holed up and you're gonna bring him to me. If I don't get a call from you by 6 a.m. saying Hubbell's in custody, you can't even imagine.
Pequard, now clearly a traitor, is ordered to keep watch over Reacher and make sure he follows instructions. Reacher doesn't resist. He stays calm and asks for a quick stop, just a map and a moment to think. Using careful observation and logic, he works out where Hubbell is likely hiding. His reasoning unsettles Pequard, who starts questioning how Reacher can read people so accurately. Reacher, however, stays completely steady. Pequard tries to regain control by reminding him that Charlie and her daughters are alive only because of his cooperation. Reacher responds that if he kills kills him, he loses any chance of ever finding Hubble.
Over 3 hours away, but still close enough he feels connected to his wife and kids.
You can't just stare into something and get inside a man's head like that.
Coffee? Black?
You better be right about Augusta.
You live tougher than I thought you were.
Low tire pressure. Should check it out.
Keep driving.
You've been with me the whole time.
Pull over. And if you're thinking about throwing a tire in my direction, think again. You shoot me, I ain't the only person you're killing.
But if you shoot me, you're never finding Hubble. I don't have many options right now. We raise our guns up over our heads. We stand up and face each other, hands up.
Yeah, got it.
3.
Find motels within 3 miles of Augusta bus station.
Your input is being processed.
He figures Hubble would avoid credit cards to stay hidden, meaning he's likely traveling by bus and paying in cash. Hubble explains that he first contacted federal agents because he realized the operation was becoming too dangerous. Joe Reacher, under the fake name Mark Salas, was the one who responded to his tip. Hubble also found out that Pete Jobling was stealing from the operation and connected him to Joe. Even though Hubble thought helping the feds would protect his family, he now understands Kleiner's group plans to eliminate everyone involved. Reacher realizes there's no deal left to make. The only way out is to stop them all.
Hey, somebody's texting you, buddy. Duck and cover.
You okay?
I'll live.
Let's hit the gun locker, the ammo safe. Grab anything useful.
They take weapons from the police locker pistols and rifles, preparing for the final move. Outside the factory, armed guards are already in position. Kleiner Jr. is expecting a direct gun assault, and that's exactly what he anticipates. But Reacher switches the plan. Instead of charging in, he sets fuel around a loading bay. Finley then lights the fire using a cigarette he kept as a backup, and the operation erupts into chaos.
Everybody in here now!
Card, I thought you were dead. Not yet.
We gotta go get Reacher.
He'll be okay.
How do you know that?
Because he's Reacher.
It's over.
State and federal officers arrive and start asking questions about what happened in Margrave, but Reacher refuses to answer. He's a drifter, someone who moves on and doesn't want to stay tied down or dragged into more trouble. He tells Rosco she should consider running for mayor, and they share one final kiss. Finley also decides to leave, quitting the police and heading back to Boston. Before leaving Margrave for good, Reacher visits the place where his brother Joe died. He carries his grandfather's war medal, given to him by his mother before she passed away. He buries it there to honor Joe's bravery and his attempt to fix things.